Okay, and with any luck, should be... I believe that's the right channel. How's it going, everybody? Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Unexpectables Q&A. I got... ducked. I was stood up. I am the only one here right now. Therefore, any and all questions you may ask pertaining to other members of the cast, I cannot answer. It's okay. Life's rough when you're out here running 90% of this ship. Doesn't look like a card game. Hey, shut the fuck up, Lord Commissar Manslaughter. I kid, of course. Well, that's all right. I could do it. Who needs them? Who needs them anyway? I could do this by myself. I'll do this on my own. With blackjack. And hookers. And bourbon. In fact, forget the hookers. I don't even need them. And lots of Die Hard Dice. That's right, Die Hard Dice. They actually sent me a new set. May or may not get utilized on the final episode of Gobtober here. What is it? It's the Iron Hexbreaker. No Ravenloft? Yeah, during the last episode of Ravenloft, Bosco mentioned that there would in fact be no episode this week due to some scheduling conflicts. I think Bosco had a class he wanted to attend, which is totally understandable. I actually attended a class with him a while back, and I learned a lot about acting. Some things that in hindsight kind of seemed a little obvious. But yeah, really cool stuff. Anyway, we're here. Or I'm here, I should say. So without further ado, let's see if we've got some questions that little old me can answer. I keep popping up OBS, I don't know why. Let's see here. Hands are cold. I just got finished harvesting some clear ice that I use for my cocktails. Where are the... There they are. I have found them. Okay, the first question from Dave the Cat is pretty fun. What is Deep Missouri? So... Deep Missouri is a fictional question mark part of Missouri that me and Hey Mr. Rabbit have come up with. That's basically like, what if the it's basically it is the southernmost part of Missouri, but it goes even further beyond. It's like if Point Lookout were real, where it's just the most direly mutated hillbillies with the worst inbreeding, parts of the forest that you do not go to alone. Is it worse than Tricadia? No one knows. You don't come back from Gulp, Deep Missouri. So Arkansas? Yes, exactly. But in Missouri. That's where the cryptids live, exactly. Just picture like the Charger from Left 4 Dead 2, and that is your average citizen of Deep Missouri. The people there literally look like the special enemies from Left 4 Dead 2. This place is not real, by the way, so I can make fun of it all I want. I'm also from Missouri, so before anybody starts getting into an uproar. Either which way. Next question is from Mega Waffles. How's it going? Unexpected Boys, birthdays were referenced a couple times in the early campaign. Would you have scenes in-game of characters celebrating their own or each other's birthdays? What would the team do to party in Eastonvale, whose birthday would be next on the calendar? Well, obviously I can't speak for everybody, but I would absolutely love to celebrate a birthday in-game, in character. Tell us about Otho's birthday? What do I have about Otho's birthday? I have it written down. I don't know it off the top of my head, though. Let me open up my notes about Otho. My corkboard. I'm sure you've seen... Chad, have you seen my corkboard? Hang on. One moment. We're sidetracking a little bit here, but it's my show. so I can do whatever the fuck I want. Open this shit up. Those are my Call of the Netherdeep notes. Alright. Here you go. Chat, you want to see my notes on The Unexpectables 2? Here they are. This is when I started using Obsidian right here. See, you can look at all this stuff. Everything's all interconnected. I need to go one of these days, and I need to start linking some of this stuff. Pepe Sylvia? What I'm saying, it's one of the necromancers. Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. I go up to his office, no one's there. Got our treasury. I believe this is accurate. Semi-accurate. Got our... Some of these are blank just because I wasn't paying attention. But yeah. That's what my notes look like. Is Obsidian worth it? It's a little bit of effort to try and learn how to use it, but, you know... Eastonville Treasury. Note, this bitch is empty. So let me see here. To answer your question, oh, it's coming. Is it not on this document? I think it might be on a different document. It might be on a document I made whenever I was making Otho. I remember. Okay, so I did not, in fact, write it down, but I remember what it was. It was the date of whenever the Schrader Cellars Double Diamond Oakville Cabernet Sauvignon was bottled. I remember in 2019, it was in 2019, but I don't remember the exact date. What was that name? The Schrader Cellars Double Diamond Oakville Cabernet Sauvignon. It is the top-rated wine in the world right now. Oh, that was only 4 years old. Yes, hello, it's me. Uh-oh, that light bulb was about to burn out. Yeah. Yeah, it was the date the first one was bottled. I forget what exactly that was. But that's his birth. I will have more information for you soon. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. Otho's 22. No, it's not his age. Otho is like 26, I think, at this point. Or maybe it's 27? So next question is from... All I can find is the year. Yeah, I thought I found the exact date. Maybe it was when Schrader Cellars was founded? Whatever. Anyway. The infamous Wofford asks, for everyone, what Pokemon would you play if there was ever another Pokemon one-shot / short campaign? I would either play... I think I would be a Houndour. Probably if I was allowed to be a starter Pokemon, Cyndaquil. Base Cyndaquil Enjoyer? Hell yeah. My boy Typhlosion is amazing. That's I can only speak for myself, so there you go. If I could be a starter, Cyndaquil. If not, Houndour, which would eventually evolve into a Houndoom, which is one of my favorite Pokemon. My goodness. Shout out to the person that doesn't like to hear me burp in the YouTube comments. I'm sorry. It's not going to stop. Next question comes from Chansey. I'm assuming this is Killer Chansey. Your characters are out trick-or-treating. What are they dressed up as, and what candy are they hoping to get a lot of? Otho's a freak? He likes Almond Joy. He's the guy who's like... He's like, you don't want your Almond Joy? I'll take it. Think about it. Think about it. He grew up in a tropical climate. So he would probably be pretty familiar with, like, coconut and lime flavors. That's what his palate would be used to. I bet he likes black licorice, too, the freak. Nobody likes black licorice. I kid, obvious. Kid. I actually, there's Australian black licorice that is actually, it's pretty alright. It's pretty alright. Hey, what's up, SKC Cap? We're not doing our usual stream today. We're doing a Q&A, but welcome. Glad you're able to catch a stream. To answer your question, though, yes, Almond Joy. Almond Joy would be one of his favorite candies. What else would he like? He'd like something decadent, too. I think his... his unrealistic hope is like a Ferrero Rocher. Giant Toblerone. As for what he would dress up as, would he do the pirate just for the meme? I feel like in Martorella it would be kind of basic to dress up as a pirate for Hoketh's harrowing. I thought it would be a detective. That is also very good. Or a vampire. Vampire is also a tiger Kigurumi. The cat from Alice in Wonderland. The Cheshire Cat? That is also a good suggestion. Otho dresses as Tony the Tiger. Wait, so he just takes his clothes off. goes to dip in an orange, vat of orange dye. They are great. I think I agree with the classic detective, the Sherlock outfit. I think that would fit him quite nicely. Columbo? Oh, and one more thing. I saw you writing something down on your desk. Columbotha. Yeah, I'm locking in detective as Halloween costume. Oh man, Killer Kiwi, for everyone, if your characters were either Campaign 1 or Campaign 2, PD or otherwise, were given stands, what would the stand name be, and what would their stand powers be? I think I've answered this for Panic. I think his stand was Shout at the Devil, and I don't remember what it did. I think it amplified sounds. Othos would be Eye of the Tiger. What would his stand be? I'm thinking. Sorry if I get quiet. What happened to Panic's folding boat? He still got it, I think. Would Othos be 21 Guns from Green Day? Actually, you know what? Let me fucking look at his Spotify playlist. I've got a Spotify playlist set up for him. So his stand name would probably come from one of those songs. Let me get on Spoofy. The animal! No. His whole thing is staying away from acting like an animal. No, absolutely not. Careful with that mic by the clutch. I have never heard of that. Definitely not fuck the police. Yep, I am pro-establishment. Definitely. I think I've said in the previous Q&A that his songs that would represent him would be sort of jazzier songs, like the low, sorrowful jazz. Can't Say Goodbye to Yesterday, Blues in My Bottle. In the Air Tonight is also another one that I would think work. Highway. $10,000% I'm smarter than you diss rap. Yeah. Probably, just for a stand name, it'd probably be Blues in My Bottle. I'm not sure what the power would be, though. Oh, you know what? Actually, I just thought of a really cool one. So, Otho's stand is Can't Say Goodbye to Yesterday. His stand power is Total Recall. He can basically recall information as if he were experiencing it for the first time. It's like in Moody Bruise. What's the it's like in Fallout 4 when you're rooting through Kellogg's memories. It would be kind of like that, where he could look at different aspects of like a scene and find out information about it. The cereal? No, the person. Yeah, I'm locking that in. His stand is Can't Say Goodbye to Yesterday. And his stand ability is Total Recall. This next question is for Bosco. He's not here right now. No one's here. I'm here. I'm always here. Next question is from, you know what? I'm taking off streamer mode. So annoying. It's the echo, but you can control it. Yeah, I guess it would be, I think. Yeah, I think it would be very close to the Echo, but he can control it. Like, if someone's describing something to him, the scene literally starts to paint itself in his mind. And he can see it as if he was there. Migraineless Echo. Oh, here it comes. Here it goes. Oh, I'm seeing sparkles. DRK Gannon asks, for anyone who wants to answer, just how much time out of game did it come up, did it take to come up with the plan to take down Ribback? I think we talked about it for a couple weeks. Or at least a week. I think it was 1 week between the episodes. We were talking about the plan pretty much up until the episode aired. What was the backup plan? I think our backup plan was to... Because there's like a big rock in Delvaria that I think we saw it, but we didn't visit it. I think our plan was to lead it towards that and get sort of a elevated view. Another plan we had was to lead it to... it was to lead it to a valley. Or basically just two large rocks, and try to lead it through the rocks and then drop something heavy on it. But fortunately, Plan A worked out. It worked out too well. It worked pretty well in our favor. It worked well. Hang on. You just get you a little. That's for you. Good work. I mean, good work. Wait, go. I don't even know if you heard that. Anyway, Tamo Bomb, thank you for the question. Autopiloted there for a second. For everyone, what would be Campaign 2's favorite Disney princess / prince? Huh? What would be Campaign 2's favorite Disney princess / prince? Like, what would the character's favorite Disney princess / prince be? Oh, fuck. Alien Queen. Is that a Disney princess? Is Alien owned by Disney now? Oath would not like Aladdin very much? Definitely not. Absolutely not. One jump ahead of the bread line. I'm gonna cut off your hands. Honestly, I don't know. I sincerely don't know. Could be any Disney princess or prince like Flynn Rider. Let me see. Feels like Otho would like Merida from the Bear movie. The thing is, I don't know a lot about these different princes and princesses, so I've found a list. I'm gonna go off the list and say who he probably would like and probably wouldn't like. Also, what do you mean by like? Like a romantic interest or just like them? Because if it's just like, oh, this person's cool, it'd probably be all of them, maybe, except for Aladdin. Just like. I'll tell you what ones he wouldn't like in that case. He wouldn't like... he wouldn't like Aladdin. Yeah, and I honestly, I don't know enough about the other ones to really form an opinion. Yeah. He wouldn't like Aladdin. There you go. Merida's all about rebellion. Yeah, fuck her. Die. Yes. Next question. Wouldn't it be interesting if Calamity came back and put the smackdown on Zero von Zarovich. That would be interesting. I'm not sure how it would go about, but it would be interesting. For the main characters of Campaign 1 that isn't Remy, what is your opinion on them if you met the rest of the mercs? We did meet some of them. We met... Didn't we meet Partner and... Oh, what was Ku's character's name? I did... Cliff. Yeah, I know for a fact we met Cliff. We didn't meet Vlad, but we met his husband. Ugh. Missed opportunity. They did never meet Brother 11. They were in Periton when that was all going down. Yeah, I think we met over half of them, I think. I'm pretty sure. Right? Oop, look. Oh! I just remembered Otho's birthday. So it wasn't the Cabernet Sauvignon. It was what is widely considered to be the best weekend to harvest grapes. His birthday is October 21st, the equivalent of that. We did just miss it. We did just miss it. You missed my birthday? I'm on vacation. Don't worry about it. Yeah, October 21st. I'm assuming you understand why I chose that exact number. But yes, there you go. You have it in writing. Otho's birthday is the Alabastian equivalent, or the Ethiopian equivalent of October 21st. Anyway. Whew. Now I can stop fretting about that. Awesome Link, what would your character's favorite holiday from our world be? Ooh. I think if you detach the real world history behind the holiday. Actually, I was gonna say Thanksgiving, but now that I'm thinking about it, because if you detach the real world history from Thanksgiving, it's about getting together with your family and giving thanks for the things that you have. But there's also sort of an undertone of overindulgence that he's not too fond of. Otho is a Libra. Isn't the date based on your... Is it your year? No, it is your month, actually. Otho being a Libra is hilarious. The scales of judgment, baby. Gluttony holiday? Yeah, that I think... Nalthal worshipping head ass. Yeah, I think I'm gonna lock in Thanksgiving. Because it would be ideally a bunch of your family coming together and celebrating and being thankful for the things that you have. And Otho himself would not overindulge. And overindulging goes against his worldview. But yes, I think he would appreciate the more wholesome aspects of Thanksgiving. Also, Thanksgiving family drama. Uh-oh, it's Dad's political opinions. Wait a minute. I agree with Dad's political opinions. You know, now that I think about it, I wonder if, because I don't know. I wonder if members of Otho's extended family would come to an event like that. Like, obviously, everyone's coming to the Ocean Lord's house for Thanksgiving. Just me tonight? So far. I think Mark might be joining soon here. But I'm holding down the fort until he comes. To a world of wonder. Speaking of which, Milo would love Christmas. As long as it venerates Orin, I think Milo might take some umbrage if he's celebrating a different religious figure. What sport would Otho be a fan of? Badminton. Yes. No, I think he would be he would be a tennis player, I think. There was a time in my life where I was really into tennis. I wanted to like join the club and everything, and I fell out of that rapidly. But I own several rackets. the remains of my interest in tennis. Though I would absolutely pick up a game of tennis in, like, no time. What the hell was that? Anyway. Callum Draws asks questions for any campaign. What do you think is the perfect counter to your character? It could be a situation, encounter, character build, etc. The perfect counter to Otho? What would the perfect counter to Otho? I think isolating him, anything that would either take him away from the rest of his party. Someone who's a criminal out of necessity. It's never necessary. I'm a criminal. You're just weak. Anyway. Single combat? Yeah. I would say he's... He's not the best one-on-one duelist. Or either that especially, as well as someone who he could not get into the head of. Because he can still fight one-on-one if he gets into somebody's head, but if it's like a mindless killer, then he probably would not be having a great time. Yoga! Kai would win when training. Otho has stated several times that Kai is the better swordsman between the two of them. Kai just doesn't like using his mastery of the sword because it links him to their father. Otho would not like fighting a golem, especially not one-on-one. Otho would be a menace and a hua. Oh, homeowners association? Is that what that is? Hua! Welcome to the Hua meeting. What lycanthrope would Otho like the least or most? I mean, do you really have to ask what he would like the most? He likes were-rats the least because funny joke. He's the guy who's ready to call the cops whenever the neighbor's lawn gets too unkempt. No, he's the guy who calls somebody to mow their lawn in the middle of the night. But he hires them through a third party so the money trail can't be traced back to him.
Mego Waffles asks, Unexpectables, quick, your character gets one pet for Eastonvale Castle. What are they getting? This is going to sound counterintuitive. But I think Otho would absolutely love to get a dog. I think Otho would love like a... Oh, what's... Otho would be the guy with the Doberman. He's definitely a Doberman guy. Tibetan Mastiff. Big Floofer. Whenever I hear Tibetan Mastiff, I always think of Mouse. Ooh. Oof. It's a shame big dogs don't live very long. But yeah, I think Otho would definitely have a Doberman. We got another one from Killer Chansey. They have too much love inside them. I mean, if love could keep them alive, pets would live forever. Killer Chansey asks, sticking to the Halloween theme, your characters are planning a horror movie watch party. What one movie would your character bring and have everyone watch? Now this is difficult, because I'm not much of a horror movie guy. I'm just not. I appreciate horror movies, but I don't really enjoy them myself. Not that they're scary or anything, I guess just on some level, I don't get it. It's like, whoa, murder. Saw? Let me think. The Thing is a good one. I like The Thing, though. Otho sounds like a classic sounding guy. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Yeah. Probably Invasion of the Body Snatchers would be Otho's pick. There's a centipede on my wall. Shaun of the Dead. Eat it? No, he's just hanging out. Also, my light is absolutely dead. Ugh. Who wants to buy me LED light bulbs from my throne? Contrast asks, what is your D&D horror story if you have one? Let me grab a drink real quick. Give it a pet, and it ran off. You guys scared it. Anyway. So, RPG horror story. This is not a horror story that I am personally involved in. This is a horror story that I heard from another group when I was in my D&D club in high school. There was a freshman who had just joined the TTRPG club in our high school, and I was not personally a part of his game, but apparently, judging from people I've talked to about it, people who have in fact played in his game, there was a lot of instances where the DM's barely disguised fetish shone through a little bit. There were people making like seduction rolls. Seduction was a big thing in this game. Teenagers, yeah, but before anybody gets too like, oh, what the fuck, this was like a 14-year-old. It's still inappropriate, but you know, you're in school. Hello.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Allen Jr., ladies and gentlemen.
It me.
Hello.
How go?
It goes well. Answered a couple questions so far.
Heck yeah.
We were just talking about RPG horror stories.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I was talking about how there was a kid in my high school who implemented a lot of his barely disguised fetishes into his D&D game.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, this was in our in-school club as well.
Oh, God. You know, where it's the most appropriate.
Absolutely.
I hope everyone doesn't mind. There's a big, long track of rain that is just dumping over the city right now.
Oh, yes.
That I just had to brave to go get some chicken because that was where I decided my priorities were today. So I'm going to snack a little bit while we eat. But if there's any questions that you thought were great that you've already answered but were open, I'm happy to answer them.
Let me go back and look at a few. We're real biz cash here, so don't worry. I've got a glass of bourbon in front of me, so don't worry.
Chicken cash. Oh, it's crunchy.
Where'd you go?
I went to Raising Cane's because it was open.
Fair enough. Although Raising Cane's and crunchy does not seem right to me.
What can I say? I got lucky.
Fair enough. Let's see. There was one from Mega Waffles that I had to ponder for a long time until I finally remembered it. Mega Waffles asked, birthdays are referenced a couple of times in the early campaign, so would you have scenes in-game of when the characters celebrated their own birthdays? What would the team do to party in Eastonvale, and whose birthday would be next on the calendar? And we deduced that Otho's birthday just happened last week, as a matter of fact.
Like in-game time or above game time?
Oh, above game time. Like, Otho's birthday is the equivalent, the real world equivalent of August 21st.
Gotcha.
Or October 21st, sorry. Panic's birthday is in August, I believe.
I've never really had a solid date in mind, but if we had to have an equivalent birthday for EastCon, it would be somewhere between like March 9th and March 14th. Somewhere in there. I don't have a specific day in mind, but that's just, that like week stands out to me.
Mm-hmm. The reason I chose the date that I did is because apparently, according to experts, the weekend of October 21st is the best time to harvest grapes for winemaking. And so I saw 21 in there, and I was like, I had to do it.
Well, I chose March, in particular early March, because I know that it is it's Pisces in the zodiac sign.
Mm-hmm.
Which I both think is ironic and appropriate for the character.
Oh,
because it's fish and he likes fish.
Speaking of appropriate zodiac signs, this was not intentional, but Otho's birthday would in fact make him a Libra, which I think is very funny.
That's amazing. Mr. Balance the Scales over there.
Also, yes, Panic's birthday falls on the real world equivalent of August 30th, for those of you who are not in the know. That is the first date of Black Sabbath's first ever live show. So there you go. The deep lore. Infamous Wofford asked earlier, if you could play in a Pokemon one-shot / short campaign, what Pokemon would you play?
I mean, that's a tough one. But for the sake of repping the old school and also potentially being incredibly difficult, I would start as an Abra.
I gotta respect it.
With the end goal of eventually making it to Alakazam, obviously.
Of course.
Who, for those who don't know, is my second favorite and original favorite Pokemon.
It's a good choice. My choice was either, if I could be a starter, it was going to be Cyndaquil to eventually become a Typhlosion. But failing that, I would have absolutely picked Houndour.
Oh, I don't see that pick very often.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. Or Houndoom is one of my favorite Pokemon.
He is a good boy.
He's a devil dog. What more can you ask for? What else? Oh, what would Eastgan's Halloween costume be? That's from Killer Chansey.
He'd be going as Pod, obviously.
Pod art?
No. Pod. The map of Eastonvale with the Metapod eyes on it.
Ah, yes, of course. It's like the banana costume. It's peanut butter jelly time.
And everyone's like, why are you a banana? I'm a map.
I'm Eastonvale.
Look at me, citizens. I'm you.
You're in me. Wait.
Oh, no. I'm going home.
I think Otho's... it was a detective, like Sherlock Holmes, right? Yeah. I think that's what we said. And he'd be the one who eats everybody's almond joys. Because apparently nobody else wants them.
That's a good question. I wonder what Eastgun's favorite Halloween candy would be.
That is also part of Killer Chansey's question, as a matter of fact.
I don't know. Maybe Smarties? But not the Canadian Smarties, the American Smarties, which come in like the little, like the quarter roll type candy.
I respect it. I love myself a good Smartie. Not my first choice, but definitely, absolutely.
They're sweet without being too chocolatey, so.
Yeah. Wait, chocolatey?
So, most Halloween candy is chocolate, except for like candy corn, Smarties, and occasional lollipops. The Canadian Smarties are chocolate. They're kind of like M&Ms, but people get mad at me when I say that. What we need Aero chocolate bars in the United States.
I've never
Can't
heard
get
of such
them
a thing.
here. They are delicious. They're like air injected chocolate bars, and they're awesome.
Zenlita says this is Lemonhead erasure. I agree, 100%. I fucking love Lemonheads.
That's like saying my favorite treat, just for fun, is a Warhead. Like, why? I don't want to subject myself to lip puckering sourness for fun.
I'll eat a Warhead every now and again. Every now and again I'll eat a Warhead. I like the sour.
The last time I had a Warhead, I was doing a Warhead challenge. And I took an entire bag of Warheads and put them all in my mouth. And I finished them, and then proceeded to have the most painful, uncomfortable vomit session of my life. So I just don't mess with them anymore.
That's fair enough. If it causes you physical distress, then that's fair enough. Like Monty and cherries.
Yeah. Or me and oatmeal. That's also not a good choice.
Not the oatmeal.
You don't want to know the story behind that one.
Fair enough.
Just know that the texture brings back physical violent reactions. So.
Fair enough. Me, I love me some fucking. Did you have a D&D horror story, Mark?
I mean, I got a wheel of them. How many do you want?
Give us a one. Give us a one.
As soon as I'm done chewing this chicken.
I'll give you some time to chew that chicken. Chat. Did you know that candy corn and candy pumpkins
are flavored differently?
They are. I mean, chemically speaking, but they end up about the same. It's kind of like if you've ever had Big Pops and orange cherry sherbet pops. They're technically flavored differently because the Big Pops have pineapple in them, but they taste exactly the same. Anyway, this is probably the one I tell the most. I was asked to join a campaign many, many years ago. That was an online campaign. Actually, I think the first time I played on Roll20. And it was a setting where there were monsters and creatures and everything. And so I was like, okay, so I could make a monster hunter. And my DM was like, yeah, sure.
Oh, this one.
So I baked into my character's backstory that his family had been killed by lycanthropes. And so he was specifically a lycan hunter. He had like preferred enemy lycans, like all that stuff. And in the third session of this campaign, we had a battle with a were-crocodile. And with no save, no reaction, no nothing, my character was bit in the arm by the were-crocodile. He rolled a natural 20. And so the DM decided that the were-crocodile was going to rip off my character's arm. So now he is down one arm, just permanently, and also is infected by lycanthropy. And so I did not show up for the next week's session because I was like, dude, like, my entire character is built around hating and destroying these creatures. If you turn him into a lycanthrope, he's ending himself. Like, that's his whole, like, motivation as a character. So why would I play a character who has that as their background and then be like, oh, but let's explore how he might behave if he was a like no. His whole background was these things are the scum of the earth and they should be wiped out at every possible moment. So hey, surprise, you turn him into a lycanthrope, he's done. So that's one. I'm with you, King Zaya. I'm absolutely with you. That was one of the arguments I put forward. If the arm was ripped clear off, then he doesn't have anything with which to be infected. But I was told, no, he's still infected.
Perhaps the curse works differently than an infection or whatever.
I don't know. It was dumb.
It's so
that
far
DM
in the past now.
Made me very angry.
Fair enough. In that case, let's get on to some brand new questions.
Oh, dang.
Is an OSHA violation considered a sin in the Oriara faith?
Probably.
Yes.
I would assume so.
I'm speaking for Monty and saying yes. Actually, no. It would be a sin in the
Log would have words. That's for sure.
There would be words traded. The Grommeth clergy, it is a sin to have an OSHA violation. I think Oriar would just give you a stern glance. But Grommeth, it would be a problem. The god of fabrication and architecture. We've been over this. Osha is a celestial Oriara. Of course. How foolish of me. Mr. Wax says, what is the best D&D race? Now, do you mean like stats-wise, or do you mean my favorite? Because if we're going stats-wise, Half-Elf is easily like the go-to pick. You get...
It's kind of tough. It depends on the version, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because in 3.5 it's humans no matter what, because they get 2 feats at creation, which is just OP as shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've played a lot of elves in my time. High elves, wood elves, drow, half elves. I think the ones that I've felt are most interesting are probably the drow, only because whether you're playing them, you know, as a raw drow who's just evil and slaves people, or you're playing one who isn't evil and then dealing with, you know, the expectations that people have of what that drow might be like, their, I guess, experience in just about every world I've played them in has been, different each time and unique. And I feel like, especially with all the other elves that I've played, most of the time the high elves are the same, the wood elves are the same. So, you know, I think drow for me is probably the answer to that question, which might surprise some people.
Yeah, if we're talking stats wise, I think half elf or Asomar would be the easy pick, because Asomar you get 2 resistances for free.
And there's the whole being able to fly thing.
Yeah. My favorite race is not a 5e race. It is yet to make its re-debut into 5th edition.
So it's not Lokatha then?
No, it is Shardmine.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love Shardmines. They're so cool. Like, when I was a kid, like, crystal people were my fucking jam, which is weird because I don't like Steven Universe. But when I was, I guarantee you, if Steven Universe was airing when I was a kid, I would have loved that shit. But just crystal people has always been, or like gem people has always been an interesting concept for me. And Shardmine fits that perfectly.
How do you feel about Gem Dragonborn?
So fucking cool. So fucking cool. I've debated, like, okay, how can I work a Gem Dragonborn my next campaign? Like, I want to be like an Amber. Is Amber Dragon? Is that a thing? Amber Dragonborn?
I don't think...
Or it's Topaz. I think it's Topaz.
It's Topaz, yeah. But you could easily color that as Amber.
I think it's almost the same, though. It's just that orangey yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, super cool.
I'm a sucker for Sapphire Dragonborn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go. You love Amber? What does she got that I don't, Zen?
No, Amber is not a stone, but it is a gem. That's the important part. I'm gonna fight you on this one.
Amber
because
is petrified sap, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's usually sap. It can also be, I think, it's not oil. What is it? I think honey, when it's crystallized, it's also considered an amber. And I think it's like the stuff that wasps build their nests out of. They're not wasps. Oh gosh, I don't remember. I don't remember that much about bees and other insects, but yeah, ambers are just any kind of liquid material that has become crystallized and hardened. And I think that's sick. It's very cool.
Amber is really cool. Petrified resin. Yes. cosmically, amber and pearl are even rarer than diamonds. I mean, you can grow diamonds. It's a difficult
Well, you can grow
process.
pearls.
But yeah, that is also
on
true,
Earth,
actually.
That's
Yeah,
the important part.
there are pearl farms out there. Dubious if that's unethical for the mussels, but
You mean the clams?
yes.
Dude, if pearls grew in mussels, Long Beach would be covered in treasure hunters.
Oh, duh, man, mussel. Eto? Oh no. What does your character's ideal date look like?
Probably March 12th.
October 21st. It's my birthday, after all. I'm honestly not sure Otho would know.
I know for a fact Eastcan wouldn't know. He's never been on a date.
I think any excuse that he could do to like take somebody to like a wine tasting. I think fine dining would definitely be up there.
I feel like it would have to be an activity that both takes his mind off of the things he tends to hyperfixate on, while also not causing too much stress. So, like, he couldn't go to, like, a fair, right? Because there's too much danger there.
Too much noise.
Mm-hmm. But maybe, like a hike. Maybe some kind of, like, hiking date. Where you could, like, hike a trail up into the mountains and, like, see the landscape underneath. Something like that, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Otho would absolutely use the date and his excuse to go wine and dining, go to fine restaurants, go to a wine tasting.
It's really not about the date. It's more about the experience.
Yeah, honestly, for him. Ah, the old aquarium date.
Where if things go wrong, you can accidentally drop your date into the shark pit.
They'd have to go pretty wrong, but you're not incorrect.
It was an accident. Sorry.
Whoops. We got one from Tix Dixel. If you had the chance to go to a different domain of Dread and Heir to the Throne, which other domain would you like to play and survive in? Let me see.
I
Let's
don't
see
know
here.
that well enough to answer. Because I didn't read the book.
Let's see here.
I didn't want to destroy the secrets.
I think if it's Kopnos's ideal, he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know about any of these. But I think Kopnos would thrive in Sri Raji.
I think the answer for why Hikeda would be Ravenloft, aka Barovia, because that's where she's from.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not go to Dement Liu on second thought. It's a silly place.
Why wouldn't you want to go to shit France?
Yeah, what if France but horrible?
What if France were worse?
I just can't
So
wait till next
France.
week. Oh my lord. I can't wait till next week when we go under the mansion in a different direction and find the catacombs. And the most terrifying thing about them, it's empty.
I think we could probably do well in Forlorn.
We're already forlorn.
Because it was made by a guy who fled Barovia. Like, hey, that place sucked. I'm gonna make something better.
I'll make my own Barovia with
Blackjack and hookers. I think we made that joke already.
Well, that's a good one.
It is a good one. Yeah. Killer Kiwi just says, huh? Neat. Not a question, motherfucker.
What?
In the questions, he just said, huh? Neat. Not a question. I'll fucking dare you.
Unless it's followed by a question mark, in which case it's, huh, neat.
Incendies Productions asks, what do you guys think would happen if the parties from the Halloween campaigns were to ever cross paths with the parties from the Unexpectables campaigns?
I think half of the Unexpectables 2 would shit themselves. The original Unexpectables would be like, huh, you guys are weird. And I can't speak for everybody at Team Ravenloft, but at least 3 of them would be like, I really should go. I'm not sure that I should be here right now. This feels like a trap.
I think Kopnos, at least, if they were going into the world of the Unexpectables, to be like, oh, thank God we're not in Barovia anymore. Thank the Lord. Lord have mercy.
I think at least Alton would reject Waihakeda. Not the people, just the plan, like the land itself would be like, no, sorry, you turn around. You can't be here.
She might have a place in Eastonvale, though.
Yeah, I guess she could hang out with Bone Town.
Hang out with Lynn and just brood together.
What if we had a tea party in the cemetery? That would be funny. Haha, unless.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Bunny.
Bunny.
She has become the derpiest cat with this cone on her head.
Either of you guys tried the Transformers TTRPG? I have not.
I've
heard of it.
either.
I saw it. I actually recently purchased a lot of the World of Darkness stuff. And I saw an ad for the Transformers TTRPG, and I'm like... I used to be really into it.
I was pretty into it as a kid, but I think I was in that generation that got Power Rangers and Transformers at the same time. And I ended up being like, Power Rangers is better, and so I like hard shifted into Power Ranger land.
I hear you. I double dipped. I definitely double dipped.
I would say I double dipped more with the Ninja Turtles than with Transformers. Although Beast Wars was kind of amazing.
As the man himself would say, now that's prime.
Hello, ma'am.
Zen asks, what is Kopnos' signature drink? Wine that hasn't been watered down.
Wine that isn't blood.
Cask strength wine.
The
Holy
kind of
fuck.
wine that can crisp your leathers.
Wine that Dionysus himself would taste and go, holy shit.
By me.
Buy my own ballsack.
Oh, I'm eating. You've really put me off my coleslaw, dude.
Wine that you can chew?
It's just grapes.
You mean like ye olde
Just a
wine
cup full
bricks?
of grapes. Oh god, like gelatinous wine? Ugh.
That's how they got around Prohibition.
I know.
They would just sell you these bricks of concentrated grape extract.
And you just
And
add it to a
they put in the instructions for the grape bricks, absolutely do not put this into a fermenter with yeast or it will make wine.
I love the idea of being like, don't do the thing. See, law people, we told them not to do the thing. If they do the thing, that's not on us. That's on them.
Prohibition was simultaneously the most horrific and the funniest part of American history.
The fact that you could like get a prescription of whiskey.
Hell yeah, brother.
Like, it's not recreational, officer. I need it. It's my medicine.
Two Hail Marys and call me in the morning.
I wonder if you can get drunk on laudanum. I wonder if anyone.
Let's find out.
Hi, Vsauce Michael here.
Here. Question: how are the goblins doing on the train quest? Well, they missed a lot of things.
Oh, I was not aware that laudanum had opium in it.
You can get high off of it, but probably not drunk.
It's containing approximately 10% powdered opium by weight, the equivalent of 1% morphine.
10%?
Yeah.
Holy
That's
shit.
a lot of opium.
Give me the milk and the poppy.
My doctor gave me this for my pain. Do you think they'll hire me? That's wild.
Me falling down the stairs, getting fucked up on milk of the poppy. You can't be in pain if you're unconscious. That is true. That is true.
This is a Game Chops jam. From 1929 to 1930, by the way, Park Davis and Company, a major U.S. drug manufacturer based in, you guessed it, Detroit, Michigan,
Hey.
sold opium USP (parentheses laudanum) as tincture number 23 for $10.80 per pint. Per pint.
You're telling me I could spend $2.20 and have a life-changing weekend.
Just a bottle of tincture number 20 for you, sir.
Thank you so much. Here's my life savings, $2.20.
Right, exactly. In 29, you bet your ass. Listen, you're gonna lose the house anyway. Might as well go out with a bang.
Oh no, I paid $3.50 for that one.
Well, sorry, Timmy. Princeton was never gonna take you anyway.
Oh shucks.
Guess I'll have to join the major leagues.
Isn't there a Roman
I don't know
wine
where
that
this
was, like,
bit is going, but
liquid fire that was 98% alcohol?
well, that's just
Yeah.
Fireball whiskey.
If you didn't water down your wine, you'd get fucked up. I think there's one of the Trials of Hercules mentions Hercules drinking unwatered wine and him just getting blasted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Chessboard Man Bosco is still not here. He is currently taking a class.
He's learning how to act because, you know.
Technically, yes, but you're technically correct, which is the best kind.
Exactly.
However, Zenlita asks, would your character believe in horoscopes?
Which character?
Any? I think Panic, no. Otho, no. Annis, yes.
I would say Seika, probably. Iscan doesn't know what it is, but he's probably open to learning about it. Estic, no.
Topnos,
and-
100% no.
Yeah. Waihakeda probably would consider it. I don't know that she'd be like on board with it right away. But maybe.
Estic thinks that horoscopes are used to look at faraway places.
No, I think he thinks that they are tubes made of glass that you look through to scare yourself.
Hmm.
Horoscopes.
Ah!
Oh God! Oh man, that was really scary. Shit.
Stellar Coyote asks, if you hadn't caved to chat making the Grunch, what race/class would you play in Baldur's Gate? As much as I love Grunch Dreadhawk, Oathbreaker extraordinaire, I honestly would have rolled for everything. I initially rolled for half elf, but I saw the option for the Githyanki, and I'm like, man, that looks like Jim Carrey's Grinch. And
Yeah.
they're like, you should make the Grinch, and I'm like, fuck it, let's go. And so I made Grunch Dreadhawk, who actually looks kind of cool. And I broke my oath.
Yeah. Well, I
Because
mean,
apparently
look, sometimes.
killing racists is against the Oath of Vengeance. So
Yeah, because they didn't do anything yet.
yeah, but they felt in their hearts what they're doing.
All right, Kira, put your death note away and play the game.
Listen, it doesn't matter now. I'm an Oathbreaker and I love it. Killing those racists was the best decision I ever made.
That's what I said about Mass Effect 2.
Hmm.
That's neither here nor there.
Who is sassier, 9 or Kara? I don't think Kara is necessarily sassy. I think Cynthia is absolutely sassy. But I don't think either of them hold a candle to Construct 9. It's just yeah, I think Construct 9 takes the cake in that particular instance.
In a death battle?
It's time for a sass battle. We barely did research. And
the
so
numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie. We did.
With a
Anyway.
SAS factor of 187 to the 10th power times 4. 9 takes it.
It's time to pit the ultimate meme together. We're pitting Coughing Baby versus Hydrogen Bomb. It's time for a death battle. Yeah. Would the party's birthdays be national holidays in Eastonville? We're not despots. Jesus Christ.
We have barely even scratched the surface of anyone in the country knowing who we are.
We're not a gaggle of Kim Jong-uns.
Jesus.
You can celebrate our birthdays if you want.
I believe actually the technical term for a group of Kim Jong-uns is a hodgepodge. I could be wrong. I might have to check with the IPA, but pretty sure that's what it is.
I thought it was a jongle.
A jongle? I'm so glad we live in a free country.
Hey, what's that whistling noise? Oh shit.
Well,
my man Kim listens to The Unexpectables.
Thank you for your support, but also, oh no! An honor and a curse.
Night Pirate asks a technical question. That galaxy map of notes, what program was that? That's Obsidian. I use that for my note-taking for a lot of my campaigns now, actually. It's free. It does require a little bit of programming know-how to make it work the way that I have it working. But there are tutorials online. They're easy to follow. There are guides and plugins. All community-driven stuff, all free. Really accessible if you put forth a little bit of effort and time into building your vault the way that you want it to. Yeah, I highly recommend Obsidian. It's like your own personal wiki for your notes. Let's see here. Sage Inoko asks, if you could have any monster be a friendly NPC in any campaign, what monster would it be? My players currently have a bunch of quicklings as busboys and a Dragoloth bouncer at their bar.
Oh my lord.
You have a Yugoloth in your bar? Fuck.
I'm not gonna lie, I am very jealous of the Unexpectables 1 cast because being able to be friends with a beholder would be fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like every time I hear about those encounters, I'm like,
oh, sorry. Dragoloths are not Yugoloths.
No, they're Dragoloths.
Yeah, they are Dragoloths. They have Loth at the end of their name.
They're similar, but not related.
I know someone in the comment section is going to make like 12 comments about how I got the lore wrong, but...
it's okay. This won't be on YouTube anyway.
It's okay. I blocked them from making comments anyway.
Heck yeah. Get Shrek'd. Yes. I'm friends with a giant? I'm not friends with a giant.
We
what
were
giant is our friend?
In campaign 1, we were friends with a gargoyle, which I thought was fucking awesome.
You guys were, I mean, honestly, you guys had a menagerie of creatures that you were friends with. It
we
was
really
pretty
did.
Incredible.
We really did.
From demigods to goblinoids to whatever the hell Log was. I guess a construct, but really he's the spirit of joy embodying a small children's toy. So
I think having a big giant buddy, very fun. Go out in the town.
I would, you know what? Here's a monster idea for you. Take a teddy bear and find every possible enlargement type spell you could apply to it, and whatever comes out, that's the monster. It's just permanented. It's like just a massive size, and all it does is wander the countryside, giving people hugs.
So it's Monzaimon.
Without the weird being a poop creature inside the suit part. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't want it to smell like poop when I hug this creature. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. That is totally fair. Poop suit?
Poop
suit riot.
The poop suit.
Poop suit riot. Riot.
Riot.
Throw back
Roll
a bottle
back
of piss. Poop suit riot.
It's like a suit that's covered in poop.
Woo.
Boy, the 20s were weird.
I'm gonna start.
What else we got?
Gonna start cherry picking these a little bit.
Oh no. Not the cherries. We talked about this.
Jalen, the Wiki Mom asks, could Otho intuit how the Death Note works and or solve the Kira case? Where does he fit on the chart? I think
But
given
before
enough-
you answer, let me ask a clarifying question. Does he have the Death Note? Or is he intuiting it based off of the information he's learned about the Death Note?
I think the scenario is Otho is trying to track down Kira. So I don't think he would have the Death Note, but I think given enough time, Otho could absolutely intuit how the Death Note works and also solve the case.
I think if you make L like intelligence level 10, not like in D&D terms, but like 10 out of 10. If L is a level 10 intelligence level, Otho is like a level 8.5, maybe a 9. So he could figure it out. But the difference, I think, is that Otho's hubris level is not nearly as high as L's is. So he'd actually be able to solve the case rather than getting himself killed off.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, spoilers for a fucking, what, like
20-year-old anime.
Yeah. Otho's priority would be stopping Kira. So I don't think he'd let any hubris get in the way of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Otho
L wanted
Light
to enjoy
Yagami.
the challenge too much.
In some alternate universe, Otho is absolutely light, I will say.
In this universe, Otho is light.
Yeah, but I don't have
Mister,
a
I will
book.
put down all criminals.
Listen, I don't have a book.
You're right. They're too expensive. That's the only thing keeping Otho from becoming Light Yagami. Is
It's
that
true.
books in this universe are
Can't
too
afford
expensive.
it. Can't afford it. Them's the breaks.
He's too frugal with his money to become Kira.
Them's the breaks.
Nothing like eating coleslaw in the rain. Let's go. Ow.
Strangers around here disappear like coleslaw in the rain.
What? I don't remember that version of the song.
Otho would have that shoulder angel, shoulder devil moment with a notebook.
Except they would both be Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove.
Hey,
No. He's got a
Otho, this guy has been up to a lot of shenanigans. You should, he's breaking the law. He's trying to steal a lot of money. You should kill him.
Hold
Okay.
on there. No.
Hold on there.
No one made you the judge, executioner, and what's the other one? Jury?
That's true. I'm making me the judge, jury, and execution.
Just flicks the angel off his shoulder.
Mwah.
Yes.
If you had to live with your campaign 1 characters for 1 week, how well would it go?
With the campaign 1 characters?
I think Panic having to deal with me farting all the time would probably not be great for him. I'd love it. He'll be like, "Hey, free guitar teacher. I made you, bitch. Teach me some tricks."
Seika and I would get along pretty well. I think he'd have an issue with the feng shui of my apartment, but other than that, I think we'd be okay. I'd teach him about movies. Because man needs to know about movies.
I'd show Panic Polyphia, and he'd be like, "Holy shit!"
I would show Seika Inside Out. I'd show him Inside Out so he could learn about emotions.
Show him Drunken Master.
Yes, because that's what Seika needs. Jackie Chan.
That's what the Fire Genasi needs. Flammable alcohol.
We need the ability to fight while drunk. We never would have fallen to the Oni if we had Joke Fu on our side.
That is true. That is true.
Just a pair of nunchucks made out of bananas. No, Seika didn't get out much before the campaign, and he doesn't get out that much more afterwards. I won't spoil the ending for those who are still going through the first series, but I will say that based on where his part of the story ends, he's not getting out much.
Yeah.
He has people for that.
Dixel asks, at this point in Ravenloft, which 2 characters do you think would be forced to wear a get-along shirt? I feel like we're all way closer than we were.
Yeah. I don't know that there's anyone who doesn't get along right now in Ravenloft.
Maybe, like...
Maybe Brandon Reval?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
That's the only one I can think. And that's really just because
they're the 2 newcomers.
Right.
So.
And I think Reval has kind of shown himself to appreciate the party, but not fully understand them. And Brand is the guy who just kind of gets in everybody's line of vision. It's, you know what I mean? Like the guy who's always hanging around the circle of friends where like maybe no one's directly addressing him, but somehow he's in every conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. It's just like personal space is a little hard for him. So shoving him in a t-shirt with Reval might be a little difficult.
Reval and Kapnos? Kapnos actually has a grudging respect for Reval. There's a lot of things about Reval that he does not like, but he's sacrificed stuff for this group, and if he didn't respect him, he wouldn't have thrown him the mask.
Right.
So I think Kapnos has some things on his mind about a lot of Reval's deal, but he still respects him.
Now, the real question is, once you take it outside of PCs and you start talking about just characters in general, it would be so good to put the Duchess in the shirt with the Necromancer. I think that would just be a swell time, don't you?
That would be hilarious.
Mm. Shenaniganery would be both afoot and at hand.
He ripped out one of his fangs for the group. That is precisely why Kopnos has respect for Reval.
He also, like, that scene with Waihakeda where he was like, please explain this to me. Why would I make this promise? And then she explained it and he's like, yeah, no, fair point. I'll make the promise. It was like the most, like, all he needed was an explanation. Like, he's been on board with just about everything the party's done. He's been really agreeable, all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
No, Callum draws. The Necromancer and the Duchess is not a ship.
DM ruling question for Gobtober. Would a Verdan from the Acquisition Incorporated module be considered a goblinoid? I don't know. I don't know much about the Verdan.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they are...
They're little green dudes.
I'm pretty
They
sure
are
they're
goblins?
Just...
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't know what they are. All I know is that they exist. And I also know they're not allowed in my game, so it doesn't matter.
It does say they are distinct from goblins. So they're not considered goblins. I don't know.
What kind of rumor would Otho be the most amused to hear about himself? What indeed? I mean, there's already rumors out there that he's courting Molly.
Yes. Thank you.
An entirely...
Thank you, Rebu.
Yeah, an entirely fabricated rumor, but it's out there nonetheless.
I think the greatest rumor would be that he's not actually a fan of Panic Grimtongue. It was just something during his rebellious phase, and he became known for it, so now he just wears it because he doesn't want people to think he's a liar.
I mean, that's just the fandom. The fandom is convinced that Otho is secretly a Panic Grimtongue fan.
It's not a secret. It's very obvious.
Yeah, it's not a secret because it's not real.
I mean, you can be in the closet about it, but it's not a secret.
I double nat 20'd it. Hey, that was fate. All right. I did not choose to nat 20. Otho is secretly a closeted criminal? What on earth would prompt that rumor? He would not be amused by that. He'd be like, I beg your fucking pardon. Where's your proof? Yeah, I think Otho's favorite rumor about himself would be, it'd be something funny. It would be something that a lot of people would believe, but could be easily disproved in the right setting.
Like he dyes his hair.
That's a good one, actually. You know, Otho Valentinius, I hear he's not actually a white tiger. I hear he bleaches his hair. Yeah, not sure how I bleach all this. He transformed.
I mean, that's just you clearly are a lycanthrope with some kind of mange.
I've got the mange. Is that the rumor? Mangy. Ugh. Drinks hair bleaching potion. What the fuck?
That would just
Why
kill
do you
you.
drink it?
Yeah, that's no. No.
I drink bleach so I feel clean on the inside.
I hate this. I hate it so much.
When is the next art show? It's this Friday. It's in 2 days.
Friday. Showing
Looking
off
at art on Friday.
Yeah, we went the same place.
D4C Love Train asks, "Hey everybody, hope you're doing great. I won't be able to stick around for the Q&A tonight, so I'll try to make my question quick. I'll be temporarily DMing for our table, but it'll be for their pet setting that I'm part of. For anyone who's temp DM'd for their group or guest DM'd for their campaign, where would you draw the line at too much? I want to let everyone have fun at the table, but I want to still keep the spirit of how things were run, so any advice on how an outsider perspective would be appreciated."
The first thing is just talking with the normal DM,
I'll be right back.
asking questions about what their plan was or is for that part of the story. If what you're doing is meant to be an offshoot anyway, like just a side story that happens while they're out, then you kind of have free reign as long as you're not circumventing or undoing something that they've already made canon in the storyline. But in general, it's always good to just touch base with them and be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking of. Is this going to cause problems for you in the overall story? Or if it's a side story, then, hey, this is what I'm thinking of. Just want to make sure this is all kosher with the way that you've imagined things. Because really, when you're guest DMing, it's sort of like being a substitute teacher. You know, you're not necessarily changing the curriculum. You're covering a lesson that you may have to make up yourself, but it should still fall in line with the overall goals of that particular class. So it's the same thing for DMing at the table, I think. And I hope they were here for that question answered. Any thoughts from your end, Connor? Hello? Well, it appears Connor is taking a quick sabbatical. So hopefully that answered the question. Let me take a look at the questions channel here and see. I'm not alone with you, Mega Waffles. You're alone with me. Let's see. What's Eastgun's favorite and least favorite part of mapping from Callum Draws? I would say his least favorite is probably drawing borders. Because borders typically, though there's some historical arguments about how they're usually drawn on rivers, a lot of times they are just arbitrary parameters that people have decided this is where my land ownership stops and this is where yours begins. And so there's not always a geographical reasoning for those borders' existence. So drawing borders is probably his least favorite. I would say his favorite part of map making or mapping in general is probably finding the right balance or I guess measurements on a map between points. So like utilizing the time it takes to travel a distance, the estimated distance between like landmarks and cities. I think that would be very fun for him, finding out, like, kind of getting down to that main detail of, like, you know, where on the map do I put the actual dot that represents this city? And is this, if I put it here, is it far enough away from the points around it to be an accurate representation of what it is in real life? I think that's why he was so aggravated in oh my god, I'm blanking on the name of the country.
Delvaria?
Delvaria. I think that's part of the reason why he was so anxious and aggravated in Delvaria, is because they didn't have maps of landmarks. So, like, it makes it difficult for him to, in his map, indicate how far away from things are supposed to be. And so that accuracy starts to fizzle out, and that would bug him a lot. So, yes. Good question.
Yeah. Also, sorry, that question made me had to poop, so I'm back now.
Oh, well, thank you for both stepping away to do so and informing us that you have successfully completed the task.
Yeah, no problem. Quinn Chest asks, how did you come up with Otho's name? It's a funny story about that, actually. So me and Bosco actually were very involved in each other's character creation, because we're brothers, and we basically made our characters together. And so we were brainstorming, like, what do we even call ourselves? And the original name Foggy I came up with for Otho got shot down by Monty.
Foggy?
Yes, Foggy.
Why Foggy?
I don't know. It just sounded cool, honestly. I was walking late one night trying to brainstorm what kind of names I wanted, and I'm like, Foggy sounds cool. Monty shot that down because if you change one letter in it, it makes a not really great phrase. But we were like, we got a little bit of lore. Yeah, the chat's like, oh.
I'm glad everyone else gets it except me. I'm not following, but that's okay.
If you change
Someone
the
can
O
educate
to
me
an
later.
A, it makes it
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do we have against doggies? I don't understand.
Doggy, cool. It's because he's a cat, and that just wouldn't work.
I suppose.
So we got a little bit of lore about how shifters sort of made their way into Martirolo, and how they've got sort of like a Roman thing going on with our naming scheme. And so me and Bosco were like, let's just look up names of like Roman emperors or important Roman people. And I'm like, hey, do you think we could sneak Nero and Dante past Monty? Long story short, we couldn't. Originally, Otho was going to be Nero, and I was going to be Dante. But Monty shot us both in the fucking forehead, and that just did not fly.
I diagnose you with no, absolutely not.
So we had to think of some other things, and eventually we came up with Otho, which is the name of the Roman emperor. From what I understand, he did not do great.
Not a historically sung Roman emperor.
But he is a Roman emperor nonetheless. And Kai, obviously, you've heard Otho's called him Caesar a couple of times, obviously, that it meant to be Caesar or Caesar. Also, hello, Brawl Kaiser. Think of the raid. Caesar Neko.
Yeah, there are definitely Roman emperors whose names are lost to time.
Yeah, so Rome did not fall in the day.
I like to think of it as the warring states period of Rome. where the people in charge were changing so quickly that they barely had time to even have the names recorded in record books.
Is this the first time we've had this confirmed from the source? I mean, yeah, I think so. Lucky you. Lucky all 118 of you who deigned to show up for this Q&A. You get some you get some lore.
As a treat.
Yes, Kai's full name is Kaisar.
It's definitely come up a few times in game, but I don't know that anybody's ever actually asked about it in character.
Yeah, I think not many people even know, really. I think the only one who really sussed it out was Strigol.
I think so, yeah.
What are some non-D&D game systems that you like? So I can tell you that I'm getting ready to be in a Shadowrun game. And I am absolutely giddy to be able to play Shadowrun.
Shadowrun is fun.
Yeah, it seems very, very cool.
It can be occasionally bogged down with a little bit of too much statistical analysis. For those who've ever done like tabletop system deep dives or tried to create your own tabletop systems, there is a point at which you can have too many things assigned or ascribed to their own particular trait. And sometimes Shadowrun, especially 5th edition and beyond, can get to that point where there's sort of like specializations that really you shouldn't need. But for the most part, I very much enjoy the system. I also, as much as I joke about it, did enjoy Big Eyes, Small Mouth. It is rife, just absolutely drenched in racial stereotypes. But the system itself was actually quite simple and digestible, so I did enjoy that. And I enjoyed Deathwatch. The roll under system with D100 is a very interesting, unique system that I particularly enjoy because if y'all know me and you know how bad my luck is, it's so much easier for me to roll below a number than it is for me to roll above it. So I tend to have more luck in roll under systems.
I liked Rogue Trader when we were running it.
Rogue Trader can be fun.
I eventually, however, I realized it was too complicated, and Wrath and Glory had just come out. So I was convinced by Taka actually to change the system.
I don't think I've played Wrath and Glory.
He approached me one day and he's like, "Hey man, there's a new 40k tabletop system called Wrath and Glory out, and I think you should definitely use it for Gobtober." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure." I think we only got to use it once though, right? Because like the next year, Games Workshop fucking
just was Games Workshop.
Yeah. And it was it was right before October too, I think, right? It was like July? Wasn't that it?
I don't know. I don't know really specifically when all that happened. I will say I haven't had time to play it yet. But looking through the core rulebook, I really am interested in playing Coyote and Crow. I haven't actually had the opportunity to run it or play in that system, but I am interested in it. Coyote and Crow is a system that was designed by a group of native and indigenous peoples with kind of a sense of sort of removing the need for there to be like racial modifiers and stuff like that, and also just creating a world that is entirely indigenous in origin is something that no one's really done before, and having it be done by people who belong to that group means that it's done very respectfully and very interestingly, with a lot of like various tribal culture beliefs and legends kind of baked into the game. It's really, really cool. I would love to play with it a little bit. It hasn't happened yet.
Science fantasy with an attempt to remove European tropes. I think that was what Shadowrun almost was.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah.
It kind of wishes it was. Shadowrun has had racial issues from the get-go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still kind of that way, unfortunately, but
Hmm.
it is certainly better now than it used to be. That's for sure.
Well, I forgot what I was going to say. Common Zero asks, first D&D class, favorite D&D class, and D&D class you don't enjoy playing. Well, my first ever D&D class was a fighter. My first character was a human fighter.
My first character was an elfin. Oh God, I think they were thieves back then. I'm trying to remember what the choices were. Yeah, they were thieves. So it was an elven thief back in 2.0. That was my first character class. I think my favorite varies from version to version. I would say in 3.5 I very much enjoy playing wizards. In 5th edition it might actually be druid. It's sort of neck and neck with sorcerers right now, but I think the options that you have as a druid go so much further beyond I like nature and turn into animals, and I think that's very unique in 5th edition to have that many kind of variations within the same class.
My favorite D&D class is Warlock. I've said this before. It's just very customizable. The Eldritch Invocations thing is very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a reason people dip into Warlock to make their builds. They're like really powerful min-max builds. I think you can do some really unique, wacky shit with the Warlock.
I think it's definitely one of the things you get the most out of with the fewest levels.
In
terms
that
of
and Sorcerer.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah.
They're the only two classes you get their subclass at level 1. That and
right.
Cleric.
Well, yes, but you lose out on like I think you need at minimum 5 levels in Cleric to get like the most important stuff, like Lay on Hands and your what's it called?
Well, clerics don't get Lay on Hand.
Not Lay on Hands. Fucking
Channel Divinity.
That's the one. Listen, it's been a long week.
I feel you. Least favorite class. I think
it's Destroy Undead. That's the one. That's what you get at level 5. Yeah, least favorite.
I think my least favorite class is Barbarian. It's just too simple.
Yeah, it's
just
pretty much
bonus
punch
action
things.
rage, and then you have no social stuff at all. Your entire class is geared towards combat, and some people like that. Me, I like a bit more flavor and things that I can use in social interactions with that.
I think, and this may garner some ill repute from the masses, but I think my least favorite class, with the stipulation of it being my least favorite class to play, is Bard. And I think it's because it's twofold, right? The first is that there's always an expectation that you, as the player playing the Bard, are willing to perform as a Bard would. And secondly, that there is almost an innate uselessness to the Bard at lower levels.
Yeah.
Wherein you really only participate in combat by bolstering other people, and there's nothing else you can do other than, if you happen to be good at using a sword. So if you want to run a combat Bard, you can, but it feels like, compared to the other classes at those early levels, it feels like you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And so it's tough. I will openly admit to having a great amount of respect for people who play Bards and play Bards for a very long time, because even in the multiple decades I've been playing D&D, I think in general, Bards kind of get screwed out in almost every edition in the early levels.
I know Panic early levels got his ass kicked regularly.
Because it's like, what if we made a caster class that's actually a martial class, but has the same hit die as a caster class and can't do any of the cool, powerful spells that caster classes get to do until like level 6?
That is true. Panic was a tank. He was a good tank.
But he was a tank late game, right?
But he was a tank the entirety of the game. He was taking hits for the entire group. Just because I knew how to pull aggro.
The damage.
I go to the Black Dragon and say, "You're stupid." And I get breath weaponed. Once Panic got Shatter, he took off. That is true. Shatter was like his big thing, his big damaging. Late game, Panic was a monster. He like bonus action with his Mantle of Inspiration, and he basically became a command cannon.
That's the thing, is I think late game, actually probably right around level 7 or 8, Bards are pretty much on par with everybody else, and then surpass some of the other classes as you get up to like 12 and 13. But it's tough early game for Bards. It really is. This is a PSA from Mark Allen Jr. If you're playing in a group of friends and someone's playing a Bard, be nice to them. Don't like demand that they perform stuff. Just let them do their thing and
Bard
make them feel good when they don't do well.
I've been in so many classes, or I've been in so many campaigns. I have played in a party with a Bard that wasn't me once.
Yeah, they're not a popular choice because it's hard to play them.
It is hard to play. Fortunately for me, I am him.
You're just awesome. So.
Let's see. We've only got a couple questions left, actually. If Otho and Iscan got turned into a dragon, what kind of dragon would they look like?
I mean, that's easy. Iscan would look like a blue dragon. However, secretly, he'd be a white dragon, but he'd look like a blue dragon. Give me that ice breath, baby.
Drink too much silver.
He drank too much silver?
That's right. Can you hear about that guy who turned blue because of he drank some like silver supplements or something?
No, that's a thing.
Guy who turned blue. Yeah, Paul Carrison. He took a homemade dietary supplement to alleviate his arthritis symptoms, and it turned his skin blue.
Oh my lord. The world is not okay.
And he lived alone and didn't own a mirror, so he didn't know until
He
a friend
didn't
pointed
own
it out.
your bro. Look at your hand. What do you mean?
He said the change was so gradual he didn't even notice.
Sure. I feel like I would notice if my skin started turning blue. I don't know. Maybe I'm a different person, I guess. I don't know.
We're built different.
Yes, I'm a natural blue.
Yeah, it was colloidal silver is what it was.
Colloidal silver.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Had a Class.
Oh my gosh. Well,
It's Dreadword Bosco.
Well, that is a very appropriate name for me.
He utters a dread word. microphone.
Snap. How goes the Q&A, boys?
Go Bears.
It's going well.
Yeah.
We're getting close to getting to the last of the questions here.
Nice. Well, I said I would come when I could, so I'm here.
Excellent. We could
Just
go
in
up
time.
and have you answer some questions that we've already answered.
Sure.
Let's see. What was some good ones? What would Kai's Halloween costume be, and what would his favorite candy be?
I think Kai would dress up as a pirate. I feel like he'd go classic pirate. That makes
Yeah.
sense for him.
I said when I answered the question initially, like is it too on the nose to be a pirate for Halloween?
It's classic though. Like I feel like it really works for him.
Eventually, I said Otho would dress up as like a detective, like Sherlock Holmes.
That would work. I think Kai. I think it'd also be funny if Kai or Otho dressed up as the Pink Panther. Either
That is
Kai
true.
making fun of Otho or Otho just like leaning into it.
Otho jumps into like a vat of red dye.
Yeah. Black.
There was the birthday question.
Yes. Let me get the exact wording for it here. Birthdays were referenced a couple times in the early campaign, so would you have scenes in-game of your characters celebrating their own or each other's birthdays? Also, what is your character's birthday?
So I don't know how time works in the Unexpectables or how dates work, so I'm not gonna say anything so I don't screw that up. As far as celebrating it, yeah, Kai would be all about parties and having a good time and probably karaokeing. Karaoke. See, like
But it's
whatever
all
the-
sea
whatever the
shanties.
whatever the sea shanty karaoke version
Yeah.
of Alavast or Alton is. That's what
swear-
Invite a bard
Yeah.
to the castle and then just have them
I mean, basically,
play whatever.
Well, you know what? Have Zev show up with a live band.
Hey, there you go.
Like they're just like a traveler. Like if you've ever done karaoke with a live band, it's actually really fun and more challenging than you might think, but it's really fun.
That does sound fun. If you
Yeah, I've only done it
karaoke with a live
once, but
band.
I would absolutely do it again. The only reason it can get a little frustrating is because like if it's a live band, they only know so many songs. They're not like a machine, so you're hoping that they're in a style of genre that you like to sing a lot.
Absolutely. That sounds awesome, honestly. Make it sound like make it feel like a rock star.
Basically, any other good ones?
Let's see.
Oh, this might be a good one for you, Bosco.
Hmm.
At this point in Ravenloft, which two characters do you think have to be forced to wear a get along shirt?
Which two characters have to be forced to get along? I think probably either Sumer in the Alpha or I'm trying to think. Copnos and the Necromancer. Because I'm evil.
We thought it would be
shirt.
Yeah.
We thought it would be fun to shove the Duchess and the Necromancer in the shirt together.
I feel like Pumpkin Jack and Brand would also be a good one.
Definitely.
I think they would get along fine.
Well, but because of the whole crossbow thing, like they already have a little bit of animosity towards each other, but the like just shut up and kiss energy is also there.
Does Brand even have an animosity bone in his body?
Very little. It's more like a wait, that was
It's like
mine.
animosity
Kind of-
marrow. It's just
Yeah.
like sort of swimming underneath the
It's
surface.
kind of there.
Oh, we've got a Bosco specific question.
All right.
The Pumpkin King seemed to hold more power in Barovia than in the current Domain of Dread. Is there a reason for that?
It's more that you haven't seen Jack as much in Dementliu as you have in Barovia. Whether or not that's a power thing is something I can't really get into, but I think it has more to do that he hasn't been on screen as much, so you haven't seen what he's capable of. But he did.
We haven't
still
seen him
show
at
up.
all this year.
Yeah, but you saw him last year in Dementliu, I believe.
Yeah, but
That
it
is true. He
last
was
year.
there.
Yeah.
He hasn't made an appearance yet this year. Which
No, he has. He
could be
was
good or
narrating.
bad.
He narrated the first episode, so he's still here. He just hasn't done a lot.
He's hiding behind the fourth wall.
Exactly.
Here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are there things about your character, personality-wise, that you don't like? I mean, I've said several times that Otho is a challenging character for me because his beliefs and my beliefs tend to run opposite a lot of the time.
The thing that's hard for me with Kai is I'm very conscious of, or at least I try to be. It's up to other people if I actually succeed. I try to be conscious of how other people are feeling and thinking about certain situations. And so I try not to act irrationally in a moment of heightened emotions. Whereas I feel like Kai is the kind of person, it's freeing in a way because he can just say what he wants to say, but he has no real thought process for the ramifications. So perfect example is what just happened with Rejurar. He just kind of said that because it was a lot of emotion. He's had years of pent up stuff inside of him. The right thing was said and he just said it. And we all have that moment where we're gonna snap, but he does it more often than probably a person who has a little bit more maturity emotionally would do. And that's challenging for me because I know both in and above game, it can cause problems. Like that scene could have gone very badly, and I give the rest of you all the credit in the world for leading into what I was doing, because it could have easily gone the other way and been a terrible scene with no growth and no good role play. And so that was a testament to you guys. But in real life, when somebody does that, there can be ramifications beyond just what affects them. And I think a lot of characters lose sight of that, where it's like, oh, I just wish I wasn't here. Oh, nothing I do matters. It's like, no, it not only matters for you, but for everybody else you just screwed over. Maybe think about that before you open your mouth. So that's challenging for me because I know I'm about to do something stupid, and it's sometimes very rough because I'm like, man, I hope this doesn't go as badly as I think it could.
Yeah, I really don't like how anxious and reserved Isken is. That's something that's hard for me to play. I'm very infrequently as shy or nervous as he is. Especially in my 20s, I don't want to say I was a daredevil, but I was trying everything. I mean, in my 20s, I picked up martial arts again. I was on a stunt team. I was doing parkour and jumping off of 2- and 3-story buildings for fun. So and Bosco knows this about me too. I get very excited about digging into lore, and I'm very curious about things that are in a setting. I tend to play characters who are curious and look into that kind of thing, and Isken is not. And that's hard for me to play. There are a lot of times where I'm like, I want to ask about this thing, but there's no reason why Isken would ask about it. So that part can be frustrating sometimes. And thankfully, there are people in the party who are playing characters who are curious. So we do get some of those answers, and it's been easier as we've gone on to just like chime in when Iskan actually does have something to say or ask, and allow the trust that other people in the party are going to ask the questions that I want to know the answers to. But yeah, it has been, since day one, the goal has been to eventually get him to a point where he's more comfortable looking into things, but he's not there yet, and it can be a struggle sometimes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Sort of a follow-up question from Roomwalker here in the chat.
I was just looking at that one.
Do you intentionally play characters with personalities out of your comfort zones to get better / unique performances of yourselves? Kind of. I mean, Otho specifically, like, I built to be sort of a polar opposite to Panic. Panic, I'm more comfortable with because a lot of his beliefs and my beliefs tend to align. He's sort of like a rebel and a rocker, and he enjoys life and doesn't believe in restrictions or anything like that. Whereas Otho is all about, you know, he's a true believer that society is best for people, and people who don't contribute to that society are scum.
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's trying to justify Otho's beliefs in my head has been challenging.
For me, I don't know that I've ever played a character who's entirely out of my comfort zone. There is a little bit of me in every character I've ever played ever. Because I don't know how to create a performance from nothing. So sometimes what it is it will be a character based on maybe someone that I know, with a little bit of me sprinkled in there so I know I can play it. The way that I challenge myself in terms of performance for characters at the table, I'm usually making a highlighted portion of their personality something that is a small portion of mine. So, for example, like I said earlier with Iskan, there are very few moments when I am as nervous and reserved as he is. But I know how I am when I am in those moments. So the challenge for me was making that aspect of my personality the main aspect of a character. Because I very much like talking to people. I'm very curious. I like trying new things. Some would describe me as adventurous. But when I am completely out of my element, or if I'm like forced to go to some kind of mixer or event where there's literally no one I know there, I close up very quickly. It's very hard for me to be open in some of those situations when I literally know no one there. And so I was like, I know what that feels like. What if that's what this character feels like all the time? And then the journey is getting him to open up from that and getting to a natural point that feels like the experiences that he's had and the characters that he's met have helped him develop that kind of ability to interact socially, and allow himself to enjoy the things that he enjoys. And that's very hard for me. It's because, like I said, my tendency is always to dive into those things really quickly. And so Iskan in particular is a challenge and restraint for me. There was a character I played where I wanted to explore, what it's like to be angry all the time. And so I made a barbarian for a campaign with the sole purpose of being as cliche about it as possible, because my relationship with anger is very unique. I don't like being angry. When I am angry, I get physically ill. So it was a challenge for me in that regard, because I had to kind of overcome my own mental blocks about anger and my own I guess, physical mannerisms and the trained behavior of my body when I felt anger. And it helped me a lot. It did kind of prove itself to be a little therapeutic for me and get to a better understanding of what anger means for me, which was very important for performances down the line from there. So that's how I challenge myself. I usually take something that is a part of me, but is a very small part of me, maybe a part that doesn't get represented or presented very often. And that's what I tend to try and explore.
I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. When I build, I'll talk specifically about D&D characters because it's unique for us as performers, because normally we don't get to build characters from the ground up. But when I have the opportunity to build something from the ground up, for campaign 2 specifically, I was a lot like Connor, where I wanted to do something very different than Remy, because I am such a sucker for the knight trope in a fantasy setting. I've played many knights in different settings. I think Mark has been in 2 of the games where I've played a knight, whether it was Ashworth or whether it was Ravenloft. But
oh my god, I forgot about Ashworth.
Yeah. One of my best, basically an NPC, one of my best characters ever. The knight trope, the honorable fighter, the dishonored fighter trying to regain his honor or trying to carve a new path, like all of that stuff is really interesting to me. So Remy was very much in that mold just because it was familiar to me, but I had never played the not only am I honorable, but I still have my honor, and it's everything to me, and it's all about family and the name and all that stuff, and the pressures of, basically, the pressures of living up to the expectations of your family and your country and all that stuff. A lot of fun. With Kai, especially because he was going to be Otho's brother, and Otho is much more of the sophisticated technician when it comes to words and people, Kai had to be more of a nerd and more of the energetic, supportive younger brother to complement what Otho was going for. So in some sense, I basically modeled him to complement Otho because Connor had a very strong idea of what he wanted Otho to be. I also always build characters with the eye towards challenging myself about something specific. With Kai, it was, I want Kai to be able to do accents and perform in some way. And because I've been doing a lot of singing lately, that worked really well with the sea shanty thing, which is why that's a part of what he is. And then on top of that, I also don't get to play a lot of really young characters. So Kai was intentionally made younger than Otho and young in general so that I could stretch my range as a performer, both in how I sounded pitch-wise and how I performed acting-wise. So Kai is an amalgamation of a lot of things that I wanted to try on a character. His rage is also a part of that. I really like the opportunity to just get angry and scream at somebody. But like Mark said, I think for a lot of performers, there's always a little bit of you in every character. And there's absolutely some of me in Kai. Some of it is just turned up to 11. Some of it is just me. And then there's some things that we are not alike on at all. So I'm really enjoying playing him, even if I'm really quiet sometimes.
There you go. I hope that answered that question. We're getting close to midnight here, so I'm probably going to only answer a couple more questions here. If you've got more questions, get them in now.
Last call for all questions.
Last call. One last call for Q&A. So ask all your questions.
And leave.
And leave.
Closing time.
You don't have to go home. Stay in the Discord if you want. So. Let's see here. 2 people asked the same question, so we'll go ahead and ask it. Quinn Chest and Hermit asked, if both your Campaign 1 and Campaign 2 characters had Digimon partners, what would they be?
Oh, this is easy.
Well, go ahead then, Mr. Easy.
I think for Remy, it might be Bergermon. I think it would be really cool.
Oh, that's a champion. I'm going to need you to pick a rookie.
Really? They didn't specify.
Sorry,
also,
if you're not
I
Rio,
figured we got the
you
full
can't just
evolutionary
walk
chain
around
of our
with a
Digimon.
champion.
I didn't realize we had to
If you're not
specify.
Rio, you can't just walk around with a champion level. That's how that works.
Wow. Okay. Well, it would either be Bergermon or Hawkmon. I've also really talked about Hawkmon being a good partner for Remy. I think it'd be really fun. And yes, they are burbs. For Kai, I think Gaomon would be really interesting because it would be a polar opposite of what he is. Gaomon actually could work for Remy, but they're pretty similar in terms of their like discipline and stuff. But that would be interesting for Kai. He's also one of my favorite Digimon. I think, and might be cheating, but either Leomon or Bancho Leomon, because Kai could really use a mentor of sorts, and particularly Leomon and Bancho Leomon in different ways act as like the mentor or the authority figure about certain stuff. It's like the character you meet before you're about to level up. I just hope that Leomon doesn't die with Kai, which is good because he knows necromancy, so he could always just bring him back.
No. That's how you get evil Panjamon. No.
Yeah, no, it'll be right. I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
I was gonna say it has to be Bancho because if it's just Leomon, then he's dead and you're screwed.
Yeah. So that's where my brain goes for those two, just out of the box.
Connor.
See, here's where my lack of knowledge about Digimon comes in. I don't actually know what would be a good fit for Otho.
So I think Panic would. It'd just be funny if Edamon and Panic were partners.
I mean, yeah.
Edamon?
Just they would basically, you would have the rock and roll guy, you'd have Elvis, and I feel like you go on tour together.
They would make great songs together.
Yeah.
Would Panic be the poop dude though?
That's up to you.
You don't have to be a poop dude to have Edamon. Edamon's just a monkey.
Edamon is just a monkey.
Edamon is just a monkey.
Although I would think Shoutmon would be more appropriate for
that. I think
that is
Shoutmon
also a good choice.
That's a very good choice.
He transforms into a fucking Megazord for some reason.
That's only when he fuses with other people.
Let's not go into the fusions. Shoutmon's cool.
Just digivolve him directly into Omni Shoutmon, and then you're fine.
There you go. Otho, I really don't know. I'm not sure.
So this might be a basic take. I feel like Otho would work really well with either Agumon or Gabumon, only because those are the halves of Omnimon, which I would love to see Omnimon paired with. Otho.
Interesting.
Yeah, like looking up the chain, I think I would lean more Agumon, especially because I think Agumon would give you very much Kai energy, like you're used to being around the hyperactive, cute kid all the time, which is Agumon.
I'm gonna give you a counter option. I'm going to suggest Meikumon, because Meikumon is a creature that has a hard time telling the difference between what's right and what's wrong. And there's a lot of gray there that I think Otho would be able to learn from having Meikumon as a partner.
That's the
one
fox,
from
right?
the movie, right?
The fox
Well,
one.
from Try.
Yeah.
Which was the series that nobody liked. But I think
they are
Meikumon
a
is an
cool
interesting
design.
idea in and of itself.
I already know who I want to see paired with Iskon
Maybe.
because they are totally different, but I'm going to let Marco first because he has plenty of knowledge to come up with one on his own.
Well, working backwards, for Iskon, it would definitely be Lunamon.
Yeah, of course.
Both because of the obvious moon connections, but also because Lunamon is a very adventurous Digimon that grows in their mega form. Dianamon, who is sort of like within the digital world, the eponymous I am responsible Digimon. And so that there would be a teaching there at every level of that Digivolution stage for Iskon to learn something about being more open and going into the world. For Seika, it's very, very tacky, probably. But I would say either Candlemon or Donburimon. Donburimon is a stupid Digimon, but I love it.
Mhm.
It's a little taiko drum Digimon,
Yeah.
and it's great.
That's Gaichi's partner for sure.
I mean,
so
but Candlemon
Taiko
also an
Tuesdays.
option because you know, candles, flame.
So I don't know a lot about their personalities, but I just just general surface information that I've learned from playing the card game and stuff, and eventually what they turn into, I think Bosamon for Otho.
Bosamon is
Oh, that
great.
would be really good.
Because eventually
Also,
he turns into Dire Bitmon, and that is just Otho aesthetic right there.
I misspoke. It's Don Dokomon, excuse me, not Don Borimon. Don Dokomon. But please continue. I'm sorry. Had to clarify. Yeah, no, Bosamon and Angoramon, that whole line.
And Goramon's like the Yeti-looking guy, right?
Yeah,
Or Bigfoot, yeah.
from Ghost Game.
Yeah.
Callum, we don't talk about Buttermon.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Buttermon.
Buttermon
I would
rest in
love to
peace.
see it because again they're polar opposites. I would love to see Iskon paired up with Renamon. She would kick his ass and it'd be so good.
See, here's
Burgermon.
Burgermon. Yeah, Burgermon. I fucking love Burgermon. I don't know that I'd like Iskun with a Renamon partner.
Oh,
because
I'm sure it would be awful, but I would, for my entertainment, I would love to see it. It's not. It has nothing to do with compatibility. Believe me.
Well, that's counter to the whole idea.
I know. I'm just saying that I said I would be amused by this.
Well, in that case, I want to see Kai with Impmon. Get fucked.
I kind of want to see that too. On well, no, that's bad for his necromantic tendency.
That's horrible.
Why would you pair him up with that?
Do you want a Digimon Emperor? Because that's how you get.
That's how you get a Digimon Emperor.
Listen, I am always on board for eventually turning into Beelzemon.
Yep. I mean, I love the evolutionary stages, but the problem is it does still work, Mark. It's just not the way I think you intend.
It does work as long as they can teach each other.
Yes.
Which that is sometimes a part of the bond between Digidestined and Digimon partners. So it's a viable option.
I'm sticking with Leomon because Kai deserves a good dad.
Here's a good one for you. What if it's Impmon who digivolves into a Leomon?
That'd be really interesting.
Because Impmon
do
in like one of the games, I think Impmon
Digimon
can
World,
digivolve into Mad Leomon.
Yeah.
So arguably there's an excuse for it.
Yeah.
Ebby Bergamon.
Yeah, good question though.
Great. Let's see.
Oh,
Probably only do like 2 or 3 more, maybe.
Yeah, I'm down.
Hermit asks, if you had to make a drink based off of one of your characters, what would it be?
Go ahead, Connor.
I've
already
answered
done
this
this.
question several times.
Go ahead.
You've made the drinks.
You had a list.
I've made a few of them, actually. Can I find them? Green.
Your question will now be answered by Connor McKinley, who has expertly put together a list with pictures that he tweeted.
Here we go. I did, in fact, tweet this. So, I actually made a drink for every single one of the... They're not original drinks. They're not like entirely new concoctions. They're just drinks that I think would go well aesthetically and taste-wise with each of the characters for Campaign 2. Milo is the Bee's Knees, which is a gin drink made with lemon and honey. Which is just... It's delicious, it goes down easy. It's fucked up, tastes clean. I've got Lagoon Punch for Escan. It is very much a tropical drink. It's aesthetically very close. It's got greens, it's got blues. Definitely a vacation juice sort of drink, but very probably delicious.
I will take this opportunity to cut in and say that my headcanon drink for Iskan is the Adios Motherfucker.
I was just going to say that.
That's
no
exactly
cherry. What I had. It's absolutely an Adios. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
What is the Adios?
Have you never had an Adios Motherfucker?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay,
you want to
so
get fucked up.
It is. Okay, so I remember.
Me and Zan are going out cocktailing one of these days.
No, but like actually, so in Adios, and I know this only because I've had friends that get it. It is a half an ounce of vodka, rum, tequila, and gin.
Blue Curacao.
curacao, the blue curacao. There's a half an ounce of that. There's sweet and sour mix, 7-Up or Sprite, and then they sometimes will put like a lemon or a cherry or something in there. But like it'll absolutely knock you on your ass.
People underestimate it a lot.
The thing with blue drinks is that they tend to, a lot of the times they all tend to look like blue Hawaiians.
Yeah. No, an AMF looks like it's just blue Sprite.
And the problem
And
is it's
that's
really
what
sweet
makes
and
it
easy.
dangerous.
It's really easy to drink. Like it goes down sweet from what I've been told. So you can put back more than one, but that's why it's so dangerous. One is enough.
And
you
also,
start putting 2 or 3 down, and you will go adios.
half an ounce of vodka is not that much. Half an ounce of rum is not that much. Even together, they're not that bad. But it's the half an ounce of tequila and half an ounce of gin that fuck you up.
Yeah, I could put down 3 or 4 of these, I think.
Really? I'd be
I have
impressed.
had friends who tried to put
I'd be
down
impressed.
2 and painted their hotel room. So just the fair warning for you.
I am a colossal heavyweight.
Honestly, then this is the kind of drink where you could just. This is a challenge drink. Then.
Yeah, I think I would enjoy imbibing in one of these.
Yeah.
This is Escan's drink? It's just
Yeah.
Because remember, he is actually a strong drinker.
Oh, yeah. Canonically, he has survived fairly long in every drinking
I love
contest.
the animation. I forget, was it Impact Frame who did the animation?
It was Impact Frame. Yeah.
Although
Oh,
don't talk so loud.
Don't talk so loud.
And just Zan's absolutely genuine. Chris, did you just call his name to shut him up? Amazing.
It's so good.
And Otho's just like,
Everything about the deliveries.
all right.
I don't think I'll ever be funnier than that, honestly.
Gaius I had as aviation number 1, and there's a reason for that because there's more to this drink on the surface than what it looks like. I believe it is gin, a gin drink, I think. But the interesting thing about it is that it changes color. I think it changes from purple to blue, which is really fitting. A lot of people might be familiar with the Aviation number 2, which is a less complex version. But yeah, just aesthetically and, flavor profile wise, definitely fits Gaius very well.
Lemon in it, though.
Mm-hmm.
So much lemon.
Otho is a mojito.
Mojito.
It is rum, soda, lime, and mint. It's tropical. It's fresh tasting. It isn't like a oh, I can drink a lot of these. It's still got that alcohol flavor to it, but it's still flavorful. It's fresh. It's great to have on a summer evening. And I think I ran this by Bosco a while back. Kai would be a Pim's Cup. Because it's got sort of a orange stripy look to it.
It has too many M's in it, though.
It's true. Pim. Bartenders hate mojitos? Why do they hate mojitos?
It's sort of a breakfast drink, and they take a while to make, so the bartender has to stop all the easy drinks to make
For a second,
mojito.
my brain went to mimosa. I'm like, it's fucking champagne and orange juice. Oh,
No.
Yeah, very different
No,
drink. My
mojito.
brain did not process mojito.
The people who say that a mimosa is a breakfast drink make my brain hurt a little bit, because it's like drinking tomato juice. Like, there's
Well, it's
that is a
orange juice,
meal.
They never have fresh mint. I've in all the mojitos I've made, I maybe have made the mistake of never using fresh mint. I use mint bitters.
Interesting.
Listen, I'm not a drink purist.
Is it just
if
like
it tastes good,
a mint
then I'm
leaf
good.
that you're supposed to put in, or are you supposed to put like actual?
You're meant to put actual mint leaves into a mojito.
Okay. Because I've had drinks that have mint leaves
substitute
in
it.
them, and they're really good. Not obviously not alcoholic, but like
Yeah.
it does taste pretty good.
Yeah, I substitute mint bitters because I don't have any fresh mint leaf. Mint leaves are muddled with sugar. That's
There are some really good mocktails that I've had that I was impressed with. They were like, "Oh, we can make this as a mocktail." I'm like, "All right, go for it, bet." And then I
Yeah.
drink it and go, "What the fuck?"
I mean, I can see a really nice mojito being made with like a lemon lime soda of some sort. A mint julep? Ooh-wee.
I don't know what a julep is.
Mint julep is the signature drink of the Kentucky Derby.
Is it really?
It is.
I did not know that. That's new. I learned something.
You fill up a cup full of crushed ice, and I believe it's bourbon and mint.
Is there a reason? Is it because it's Kentucky bourbon? Is that why it's the drink of the Kentucky Derby?
I believe so.
Probably.
You put it into a brass cup. You fill it full of crushed ice, and you put a cube of sugar, bourbon, mint, and I think Angostura bitters goes in there as well.
I don't know
And
why, but
just
I
a
love
dollop of Kentucky.
random thought. I love
vapors.
sugar cubes. I just think they're cool. Like I love dropping them in my coffee and then just stirring them in.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I feel fancy
Nice.
when I do it.
Yeah.
You have to use the tiny little spoon to do it.
Yeah, that clings. It's like
Yeah.
Number two.
Good question though, but it's already been
Yeah.
asked and answered many times.
Oh yeah. I do love talking about it.
Yes,
You have to come up with one for Sturgal.
you do,
I do have to come up with one for first all.
and it's got to
I'll
be a
get
good
back
one.
to you on that.
Especially because Zan will drink it. You have to make it a good one.
I'll get back to you.
Challenge: put Kahlua in it.
Oh,
That's your challenge.
Very well.
bad.
Callum Draws asked, would you be interested in doing more non-fantasy settings?
Yes, absolutely. As somebody
mean-
who did a 2.5-year Mass Effect campaign, yes, please,
I mean, yes.
always. Also, modern. I do D20 modern. Fuck it. I am kind of doing D20 modern already.
I very
Fucker.
much miss D20 Modern. It's so hard because I want to do modern day sci-fi, and there's not a lot of vehicles through which to do so.
Also,
So
steampunk. I would love, especially on this channel, I would love to do Shadowrun. I am waiting for the chance.
that's cyberpunk, not steampunk.
Or sorry, I meant to say cyberpunk, but like it's.
Is there a
futuristic.
steampunk setting?
Yes.
I'm sure there is. There's
Yes,
plenty.
there is.
There's tons.
Well, there's
Um,
Eberron, obviously.
Yes.
There's it's oh my god, what is it? I played it many years ago. What the frick is it called? Oh god, the one article that I found was like, oh, it looks like you're using an ad blocker. We're not going to show you.
Fuck yeah!
Show it to me.
Oh god, I can't find it. Dang it. I feel so old.
The short answer to your question is yes. All of us, I'm sure, would love
Yeah.
it. The answer is yes.
I said it earlier, I'm actually going to be playing in a Shadowrun game soon here.
I heard.
I'm very excited.
I like the concept, and you're the perfect person for it.
Oh yeah.
Stay tuned. Next question. Let's do it. I'm hot. I'm fired up.
Hard disagree, but go on.
I meant temperature-wise. Sorry.
Magic Ninja asks, what do you think your character's favorite toy growing up was?
An Etch-a-Sketch.
Would... That's really good. That's an interesting question, because now you have to think, what would I have in a fantasy setting that would be also be a toy?
I feel like Kai and Otho would both enjoy either Hungry Hungry Hippos or Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Like something that they could play together.
Crossfire.
Oh my god, yes!
Crossfire.
Zen,
Tail!
No.
Crossfire, you've been caught up in that.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
going
you.
with Crossfire. Fuck it, that's perfect. Oh yeah, Battleship would also be good just because it's a good strategy game. Otho would love Battleship.
I feel like Kai would hate Battleship.
But Otho would love Battleship.
Yeah.
Otho would absolutely love Battleship.
I think Kai would enjoy it. I don't think Kai is as anti-strategy as you think.
It's not so much anti-strategy so much as it would be too on point with like what their dad did.
Oh, I could say, yeah, but you're blowing up the battleships, so he just pretend it's his dad's ships. You sank one of Brutus's ships. Nice.
I have no physical or no emotional attachment to the sinking of this vessel.
Or any that happened to be in the general vicinity.
You want to hit another one?
Yeah, actually, do you want me to just tell you where they all are?
Kai finding ways to like hold a mirror to show
Yeah.
Otho
Man,
his
Man, it sure would be a
board.
shame if you happen to look over in this direction.
You know, it's not really a game if you're just telling me where to.
It might not be a game, but it is entertaining.
What do you mean? There's clearly a winner.
And it's us.
I call this game Sink My Dad's Ships.
I feel like Risk would also be a really good one for Otho.
Yeah.
Or if they had, do they have like a Civilizations equivalent for board games? Like a Civ board
Unsure.
game? I feel like there's got to be something similar to
Settlers of
Civilizations.
Catan, maybe?
Kind of. I think he might enjoy that.
Also, really unfortunate title in the modern society, but there is a game called Pandemic
Oh, I love
that
that
I
game.
think Kai would like.
We played that during the pandemic, and it was still as fun as it ever was. And I don't care what the name is; it's a great game. Oh, another really fun board game that I think Otho and Kai would like is I can never remember the damn title, but it's the Mansion on the Haunted Hill or whatever.
Oh, House on Haunted Hill.
House on
Yeah.
Haunted Hill.
No,
yeah.
Betrayal at the House on Haunted Hill. That's
There
what
it is. That game
Yeah.
is so. I've only played it a couple of times, but I love that game.
Dude, I have the D&D version.
It's.
There's a D&D version.
Is there really?
Yes.
Dude, we need to stream that game. Like
Fucking
that would.
it's so
Oh.
good. There's an idea playing the D&D Betrayal as Unexpectables.
Yeah,
Twitch.
I would
Betrayal
be
at Baldur's
super
Gate?
down. I'd be super if we ever needed a night. I'd be super down.
Oh, definitely.
Sorry, are there any other questions? I know we're lingering on this one.
We do one more, I think.
One more? All right. Gotta be a good one.
The final question.
Roll back up.
I love, just to piggyback on the board game stuff. Board games are so much fun, and I love that there are stores that I can go to that just, or restaurants that will just have board games that you can pull off the shelves and play while you eat
Yeah.
or shop. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is such a great concept. Especially because there's board games there that you otherwise maybe would never see because there's some obscure stuff. It's like, oh, I've had this for 10 years and they don't make it anymore, but it's here.
For a question that we can all answer here, there's some specific questions. Making my way through.
Making my way through this.
Well, that was
Yeah.
gross.
So thank you guys again, by the way, for tuning in and letting us do a Q&A. I do appreciate the opportunity to to go take a class, and I promise you'll have more Ravenloft next week. And sorry to everybody who's waiting for the real show.
You know what? I'm not sorry to everybody who's waiting for the real show, quote unquote. I did see a comment earlier in chat. Someone was saying that they are currently marathoning through all of Ravenloft to
Let's
try
go.
and catch up for the live.
Hey.
And you apologized. I don't remember who it was, but you apologized for waiting so long to watch the show. And to that, I will say you don't need to apologize. We're glad that you took the opportunity and had interest in checking it out because Ravenloft, I think a lot of main viewers of the channel don't give it any attention, but it is very good. And Bosco has improved year after year after year and made an incredibly enjoyable experience. It's a unique situation that I don't think everybody fully understands or appreciates.
I'm really excited to see how it ends this year because I really do feel like I was either going to be the best or the worst, and I feel like if I can get a nice button on the last episode, it could be the best Ravenloft I've done.
I agree.
So
as long as you don't kill us all next week.
Even if I do, as long as there's a good reason for it.
No. I will take back every nice thing I've ever said about what you've done. If you do that.
I mean,
here we go.
Do not reward the death pool that way.
I've got an interesting one from it's from the last Q&A session, but I don't think we ever got around to it.
Okay.
What superstitions do your characters subscribe to?
Oh, I think we did answer this.
One.
We did answer this. Yeah. Because Kai did a bunch of ones about being on a boat, like no bananas and no
bananas.
No bananas, no saying goodbye.
Oh, I must not have been here for that.
You might have.
That
was the one.
Oh, you know what?
I
was out of town. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I was out of town for this one.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right.
Yeah. No. Okay,
else.
so here's the question though: what are Otho's superstitions?
So real quick before I find a different question, one of Otho's superstitions is if you toast to something with an empty glass or with water, it's meaningless.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I would be so fucked. Every time people do a toast, I'm like, well, all I got is water. Oops.
Well, at least it's not empty.
It's normally not empty unless I don't get a refill, which then I turn into a monster.
So that's how it happens.
That's how it happens. Don't give me my water and I'll...
If you toast with soda, I mean, I guess. I'll look over it, but I'm watching you.
Personally, I'm a Martinelli's sparkling cider guy for every toast. Thank you.
Nice.
Don't like champagne.
I'm not sure if I've ever toasted to anything, honestly.
Really? You've never? Well, we'll fix that.
Let's have a mock wedding.
Not in a lot of social situations where alcohol is involved.
Well, if we do a LARP version of the wedding between Aya and Big and Tasty or whatever the prince's name is.
Big and Tasty.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Big and Tasty.
We could do a mock wedding for them, and then we could toast.
Fair enough. You know what? Let's
I want to say I'm very happy that there's a recording of me calling Randrar Big and Tasty.
Big and Tasty? Yeah, congratulations. Put it on the TikTok.
Clip it now. Clip it now. This won't last
Put it on the
forever.
TikTok.
Let's pull a question from the chat.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Chat, give us your questions. I'm
yeah,
pick
chat,
one.
how are we ending this? It better be good.
One.
We're picking one. Make
Spend
sure
those
you
channel
highlight
points.
it so we can see it's a
We
question.
have till the end of the countdown. 10, 9,
They're on a delay.
8,
9
This is
and a
a
half.
terrible idea.
7,
Why are you doing this?
6,
Please stop.
5,
They're not going to do it.
4,
You're putting pressure on them.
3,
They're panicking.
2,
You're stressing them out.
1.
Stop it.
Time's up.
Get some help.
You're a marked man, Jack Sparrow. Wait, no, that's something else.
Did you do a full countdown just to get to that bit?
Yeah.
I hate you. I absolutely hate you, but I appreciate the dedication.
100% yes.
Here we go.
You got one?
There's one question that just says pineapple.
Nailed it.
Yes,
Yes, pineapples are
Mega
delicious.
Waffles asked, "What is your character's favorite childhood memory?"
Ooh, man. Is this spoilery? Can we give this out?
I don't know if it's spoilery. Like, your name. Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Part of the ship, part of the
All right.
Not being kidnapped. I
will.
remember.
I'm normally the person that will reject these questions because I'm like, you should ask in game, but it's creative, and I will at least put the teaser out there, and maybe someone from this chat, either Mark or Connor, will ask me about it in game.
No, I don't care.
What? Well, maybe Connor will ask me about it in game. Anyway, I think one of Kai's favorite memories will have to do with the very limited amount of training that he got as a kid before it was pulled out from under him. And I think that memory in particular, especially who he trained with canonically in my brain, that's something I would need to clear with Monty. But the way I see it going down in my brain, that would be something from his childhood that he would absolutely cling to, because it would be one of the last times before all the shit happened and he grew up and he had to go do stuff with Otho and now he's off adventuring, that he actually thought that he might be on the path of doing what he wants to do before it was pulled away from him.
I don't know that it'll ever come up. And I guess it's dependent on how old we're allowing the definition of a child. But I think for Iskan it would probably be being accepted as an apprentice at a cartographer's like boutique.
I think it's a good one. I think college years, like right before you hit 18.
Well, this would have been, apprenticeships, especially in things like cartography or cobbling, those tend to start around like 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, I would call that a kid.
So, yeah, I mean, technically you're joining the working class, but it's still very much part of childhood, I think. And I think that would be one of his fondest memories, because before then, he probably didn't have any particular aims in life. And so that gave him a sense of purpose and something that he could focus on and strive to achieve that he otherwise wouldn't have had. Which I know does not sound like the kind of thing a child would really think about, but that's Iskan. He's a weirdo.
I think one of Otho's favorite childhood memories would probably be watching his father add a figurehead to the figurehead gate. It was probably a big time of pride for him and his family. Probably a big celebration as well, because it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
To get a figurehead added to the figurehead gate. Otho probably didn't know exactly what it meant at the time, but he knew that his dad did something good and that people were proud of him.
My dad's cooler than your dad.
I really like the
he's got a
dichotomy.
statue.
I like the dichotomy of like how brutal that is in reality, but then how sweet that can be from a child's perspective. Like, that's pretty cool.
It's one of those things where it's like, before the wool is removed from the kid's eye.
Oh, that's awful, but also that's really good.
Yeah, like your hero is still cool in that moment, right? That's before everything went to shit.
My dad could beat
Before
up
the Fire
your
Nation
dad.
attacked.
Yeah.
Before my dad could
Good
actually
last
beat up your
question.
dad.
Yeah, your dad canonically can beat up my dad, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, the greatest sword.
When I meet him, I'll let you know.
I almost said something that I think would be a spoiler, so I didn't say it. But let me just say, Iskan's father is not winning any arm wrestling competitions anytime soon.
Fair enough. I also just almost made a joke that could have been spoiler because I don't know if it would. I'm just gonna shut up.
Is a literal iguana versus if a thwomp were a tiger.
Did you say if Aesop was a tiger?
If a thwomp.
If a
Oh,
thwomp
a
were a
thwomp.
tiger.
I was like, Aesop? What?
I love that mental imagery.
If a swamp was a tiger.
It's just a thwomp with whiskers leaning slowly to fall on top of an iguana that's just got that terrified iguana look on its face. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Thank you
Just
guys
stop,
for coming
Connor.
by. We appreciate it. We
you.
are off the rails,
Yeah. All right.
but it's okay.
Yeah,
We're overtime
That's
and off
enough.
the rails.
That's enough. We are indeed overtime. Thank you all so much for stopping by for this wonderful little Q&A session we had going on here.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hey Connor,
Yeah. What's that?
can I suggest a raid target?
Absolutely.
My friend Christian Lamont, who's an amazing director and actor out here in LA, also a D&D player, is playing the OG Metal Gear Solid. If we could raid him,
Sure. Is
I'll
that
allow it.
is that Count of La Monte Cristo?
it sure is. If you need
Yeah,
me to
I'll
post
allow
the
it.
full name,
I actually follow them, so
Oh,
I have it
perfect.
right here.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
we need
let's do it.
We need a message though.
What is our raid message, chat?
Should it just be snake with like elongated A's?
Snacky.
Snake. Keep. Question.
I
No,
will-
we're done with that now.
No more questions.
Pineapple?
Yes. Correct.
Sure. Our raid message will be pineapple?
Pineapple with a question mark?
Yeah. It's also
Alright.
it's also funny because Snake in Metal Gear Solid says, they're armed with 5.56ers and pineapples.
You know his famous quote.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Alright.
he's fighting Rex right now.
He is fighting
Oh my
Rex right now.
God.
Spoilers.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you Saturday for the finale of Godtober.
Gobbleoid.
Yeah, goblins.
Have a goodbye, everybody. Whee!
Bye.